Okay, I'm just getting set up here. I am back in Rooms of Wonder. This is the newest book by Johanna Basford. And this is the page we're going to be looking at today. And I'm going to be bouncing around through this book and some Christmas pages and things like that over the next few sessions. So if you're waiting on me to go back and forth to something, just hang in there. I will get there. All right. I think I've got you lined up pretty good. Got a timer set. And let's see how much of this we can get through. Now I've already done all of everything except right through here. And through here, I did just the base coat. So just that first color. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and blow that up for you as much as I think I can and not get blurred. There we go. Now, I did use the Imaginors by Colorya. It's not so much the colors that you use this time as the process. Let's go ahead and start with this green here. So it's like a mossy green. It's called Pear 308. And I did just the whole thing. And then I left some around the outside. Then the next color that I use in that sequence is a medium shade, and it actually is moss. It's 346. Now here, when you're doing something that has layers, like I'm going to just draw the stripes right on there. And what that just did was pushed this area up to the front. Same thing here. See how that's right on top, goes all the way across. Then I'm going to look at each layer and say, okay, what's next? Well, this one comes across, and then here. Here's a line here. There's one here and here. So you're trying to figure out how this ball was wrapped. Now, the front layers are in that first green, but as we go deeper, some of those other layers need to be in the darker green, the green that we're currently using, because that will help push those even further to the back. Okay, and this is about pushing things to the back and having some of the things remain up at the top. The best way to do that is to do 2 or 3 different colors and really try to get those shaded nicely. Last shade I'm going to use is Forest Green, and it's 356. So in this one, I'm going to go all the way around. And yes, it's basically an outline. And I'm doing 2 of these on the balls because the way they were wrapped was different. They're not the same all the way around on this mandala. And so that's why I went ahead and did 2 of them. Whereas most everything else is just reprinted, this was not. Now I'm going to go back in lighter and do the little circles all the way around. And what that's going to do is help that line to look less like a line and a little bit softer, like it's blending in. All right, we have one more step with this pencil. You know how a lot of times, if you've been watching me for very long at all, I like to go in and make the darks darker, especially in the V areas. What do I mean by V areas? See the V right here? So go in and darken that. You see how that just pushed that way to the back? We know this one's on the bottom. Let's push it back. Let's push a little bit right there, and then let's push this one. Do you see the difference in that and this? Okay, let's do one more. So this is on the very bottom here, so we're going to push it. We're going to push this just a little. We're going to push this one, it's on the bottom. And then we'll do a little push here. Okay, so now we've got that added depth. All right, so, and you can outline with this green or the green that was before this. All right, so then next, yes, that was my phone. Next thing I'm going to do is come in with the yellows, and we're going to go ahead and look at this flossy stuff. So I did my lightest yellow, yellow sapphire, 231. So if you're using the colors I am, you may want to watch this whole video first and then go back, or you can pick colors and pause and all that, and just know that it's one of your lightest yellows. This is going to be a medium yellow. This one's Tuscan Sun, 215. And what I'm going to do is hit right next to that first yellow, right? Makes it look like it's kind of curved around, and makes this look like it dips down and tucks underneath. Then we're going to come in with this one, do the back part, or what's behind. We know it's behind because this one's coming in front. See, that's in front, so that makes these two go behind. And since I used my second color here, I need a third color to deepen in there. And I really like a yellow ochre or a honey. This one happens to be honey, and it's 802. But your yellow ochres, some of your lightest browns, but see how that just makes it look like it's tucked back under there. When you're doing a mandala, I would suggest that you do all of one thing at the same time so that you know they match. So if you're going to start with the balls of wool or yarn, do that all the way around. And then go to your next item, okay? It'll really help you to not get as lost or mixed up on where you're at as you're going, okay? All right, so next I am going to go with, and I'm trying to remember if these are the right colors, I'm not for sure. So Coral, 715, and it's these little wrapped things of, what, string or whatever, don't know. So any kind of peachy color. Then I grabbed Cinnamon, it's 822. And I'm going to do again along those lines, because we're trying to push stuff to the back. See how that just raised this one up by doing those areas? So come in and do your lines again. Look and see where those lines are. And then all the way around the outside. I've been doing a lot of all the way around the outsides on these. It's just helping to give it a softer look. And since yarns and threads and such are softer, I thought it sounded like a good idea. Then I'm going to come in with Espresso, 847, and this one's the one I'm not sure if this is the color I had used or not. So we're fixing to find out. Yep, that's fine. So this goes just in those deepest V's. Okay, that's all, just in the deepest ones. And that's really all there is to that. I mean, you can fiddle around. Don't overdo it, because then you'll end up with just a dark mess. and that's not what we're after. All right, moving right along, we have, let's see, let's do these two blues. The star, I based it in light blue 413, and I just came in and gave it a light once over. No big deal. This is probably the easiest thing on the whole page. Then I used Aegean blue, which is 433, and come in and just do the shading, that shadow that's falling down there, and the dots in the middle. So that was, like I said, that was fairly easy. Then we're going to come over to lighter greens, and I base coat with soft green 319 around here. So like an apple green, maybe something even lighter than that. And then matcha, which is 323. So essentially just two different greens. And then I very simply just colored in. I did not do any extra shading on this at all. So easy on these. All right, next I am going over to 422 Peacock Blue. Just get the color on the one that's on the top. Then I went to 338, which is Jade. Did the one on bottom. Plus, did that part that's under the wrapper and wrapped around to the back. Wrapped around and under the wrapper. Okay, and then the last one on there is Ocean Blue 443. And this is where I'm going to come in and do what's tucked underneath. Okay, make it look like it's tucked down in there. Got it? Okay, the pinks, very easy. 527 Peony, just colored it in. And then I came at here at the tip and just did a little more. Okay, just a little more on that tip. Just helps give a little bit of interest to that area. Then I used Hot Pink 555, and again just coloring in, not hard. This is back to first grade. Kindergarten we didn't so much always color in the lines, but as we were older we did. Let's go to the purples. I used Royal Purple 572. Did all over. I mean all over. Okay, then I grabbed 574 Amethyst. That's the thing about these pencils. I really like the colors. They're just really pretty. And on this one, see, that's all one chunk. So all I do here is this line. And then I'll do it again just a little bit lighter so that it looks like it's fading out there some. Yeah, I think in the review I did on this, I noted that the blues weren't the best. And they had, I think it was several reds that were repeats. but they had a pretty good array of purples. So now, is this one in the camera? Yes, it is. Good deal. So, get my chair back. It rolled away. That would not be good, all the way down to the floor. So, again, these are different. So, I'm doing 2 of them. This one has added little areas on both ends. So, make sure you do the extra lines. And then come in and do your V's. Just not a whole lot of V's on this one. Okay? Scissors. Let's look at those scissors. I did pull some grays. Now in this set of pencils, you don't have to worry so much about your cool gray, warm gray, and French gray because they just don't exist. There's light gray, and I pretty well did this whole thing with light gray. Then next is elephant gray, 901. The light gray was 909. This one is 901, and I do like this light gray. So, or this elephant gray. To me, it's a pretty gray. So I do there, and then I'm gonna do down through here, and I'm going to come down this side. See where the dotted line is, where the scissors actually cut from? I'm going to go down through there some. Then the last gray is space gray, 915. And I've colored with these pencils enough that I can tell you I do not miss all those grays. I don't. It's just so much easier just to grab these and go with them. And I'm doing that overlap right there where the other blade's sticking out. Now, that pretty well does all of that. With what I've just shown you, and yes, we flew through this. We did. I wanted to be sure that I could get through all the steps with all the colors for you so that you would not have questions. On the next page, you're now able to do everything that's done. Okay, with just what I've shown you and a couple of other things. This, remember when we did the balls of yarn, we were out at the outside? That's what I did here. I did light and then a little darker here and then darker around the outside. When I took off to doing the shelves, I'm using Sienna Brown, which is 832, deep brown 835, and then I've grabbed black, which is 990. I took my lightest brown and came through and did all of this really light. Okay, just all of that. And then I did this. Okay, now I'm wondering if that's the right brown. You know, I always second guess myself. Why do I do that? Let's check cinnamon. Yeah, cinnamon works too, but cinnamon has a little bit more red in it. So I think this is the one I used. Or it could have been this one. Well, you know, it was this one. See, I'm always telling y'all, watch first. So I actually did use deep brown 835, or at least that's what I'm using now. So what I did was I left a little light spot here because this light's going to be on. And in another video very soon, we are going to do the light and how it shines and how it affects everything around it. So if you're going to go ahead and color all this desk and shelving, I did anything that was flat, that faced the front a little bit darker. I did the actual surfaces, the sides here, the surface here, this down here, same pencil, but I did it lighter. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and show you is like in here, the light from the room is casting right here. But as we get further back, that's going to get darker because it's up underneath the edge and it's not getting the light as front on because it's down underneath. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and go a little darker there. All right. I just didn't want to do it until I could explain it. Then as we come down, I am going to let it get lighter again because you know in a room that has all this funness, this one light is not the only light source. There's got to be more light in here somewhere. But see how it now looks like this is lighter and it gets darker as you go back? Imagine sitting in the chair and everything gets darker as it goes back and as it goes up, because the light is not getting to that. I love that little door. It's like, what's that for? Just a cute little pretend thing. But this is right up my alley because I do have a whole sewing section in my studio here. So if you've not seen that, you can do a search in my channel and search for my studio. And so this one went darker here. This one would be darker here. Okay, because the light would be hitting here, but this is in the back. All right, then lighter as we come out, but yet darker as we move up. I hope that really makes sense and how I'm saying that. If you are sitting at a desk that has a wall behind it, slide your chair out, look at the sides, and see if it's not darker as it goes further back, and especially at the top in the back. Okay? Now, if that wasn't dark enough, I could come in with another brown, and I did grab sienna brown. And I could go right here in this V and deepen that up some more. So grab you a couple of browns. They don't have to be the browns I'm using. What I want you to look for in your browns is look for some that if one has a red cast to it, make sure the other one has a red cast to it also. Does that make sense? You know how we talked about a couple of videos back, we talked about cool gray and warm gray, and then French gray. Same thing happens with brown. You have browns that are more red cast to them, and then some that look more not blue, but just deeper and a little different. Okay, so you can see there where I got that even darker. And then if you want to go darker still, let's say I really want to push that back up under there, then I am going to come in with my black and ever so carefully, see there? See how that looks like it's way back there now? Same thing on this side. Just ever so careful. Black can get overwhelming way quick, so be careful. Okay, so that's as much as I'm going to do on this page. You can see here where I've colored around, and then I did the edges just like what we did on the thread or the balls where we went around the outside. Same thing here, around the outside. The boxes, I went around the outside. The ribbon, I colored it the lightest shade, then right there in the fold, and at the top and bottom and the top, I went a little darker so that it looks like it's actually wrapped. Here around the outside, the plants, I took the same greens and just mixed them up a bit. Okay, so this is the 3 yellows. That light went all over, then the medium went around, and then the darkest here, and a little at the corners. So have fun with the page. Like I said, I will be back to do the lamp light. So if you want to play with your mandala on the opposite page and wait for that, that's fine too. I will be back on this one though for that light source. So other than that, have fun. Let me know if you bought this book, if you're following along at all. How much of this book would you like to see colored? There's lots of things in this book that will be great for reference, including things like the light. All right, so have fun. We did really good time-wise, and again, that's why I flew through this so fast, because I wanted to have time to hit the entire mandala and to give you a little bit on the depth of the desk. So yeah, share the videos with your friends, with your coloring groups. I appreciate comments. I do read them all, and I get back to you as much as possible. So thank you so much for stopping by. Subscribe, follow, share it, and I'll talk to you in just a few days. Okay, bye-bye.